What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamisha, also known as Mrs. Codepreneur at this point in my life, as well as a transformational coach, keeping it raw, real, and relatable here on my channel, helping you guys transform spiritually, professionally, and in today's video, academically. So for all of my OTA students, this video is for you. I suggest you stay tuned, and we are going to jump right into it. All right, guys, so today we are talking about just studying NBCOT questions. Is it enough to pass the board exam? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It is not enough. Okay? It is not enough. Now, I've had students come to me and, when we have conversations, and they're like, I don't know why I keep failing, and I start questioning them to figure out what they're doing. And all they're doing is questions. So I'm like, okay, you're doing questions, but do you have a strategy when you're doing these questions? And if they tell me, well, I read it and then I see what I got wrong and then I read the rationale, I'm like, okay, so what else do you do? Well, I just keep taking questions. So this is the thing, guys. And I'm going to put it like this. When you are studying for this exam, I want you to think of a house. All right, stick with me here. It's going to make more sense. I want you to think of a house, right? And when you are getting ready to build your house, what is the first thing that you need? Foundation, right? So when you're first building a house, you're going to need the foundation. So the foundation that you're going to need is just that basic information that you should have learned in school, right? You should have learned from, pediatrics, from, we like to say from birth till death. So you should have learned about pediatrics. You should have learned about mental health. You should have learned about phys dis. You should have learned about splinting, right? All these different things that you should have learned is your foundation. Now, even though you learned that is a lot of information over a 1.5 to 2 year span that I don't expect you to remember every single thing. However, it's very important, it's very vital that you set up a system, a study system, so you are reviewing important information that you learned while you're in school. While you are reviewing that foundational information, then you should be incorporating questions. However, when you are taking questions, you need to have a strategy for those questions. It's not enough just to take a question, saw that you got wrong, read the rationale, and then you move on to the next question. No, you don't want to do that. So when you're answering questions, you want to watch for weak areas. When you are watching for weak areas, it's like a map, right? When you come across a question, okay, and let's say there's a diagnosis in that question that you're not familiar about, maybe there's a terminology that you're just not familiar about, okay, you want to have your notes set up where you can say, okay, I'm not familiar with this. Let me go back and look up this diagnosis, or let me go back and see what this question, the context of this question is talking about. So the next time I come across a question like this, I already understand how to answer it. Okay. Same thing when it comes to certain words. I know in my course, I talk about the importance of understanding suffixes and prefixes, because that's going to help you figure out certain words that you may not know. And again, guys, like, I'm home, so if you hear my kids screaming in the background, bear with me. We're going to just keep on rolling with it, okay? So yeah, and another thing you can do too is you want to study your questions as well. In my course, right, everyone is going to have questions. However, as they go through each week, at the end of each week, they get a small mini quiz. And with the system that I have, and I call it my secret weapon mnemonic that I provide them with, they use that and they break down those NBCOT questions in a strategic way, okay? And if they were to get it wrong, they also have another system, another strategy on how they can study that information, okay? So when you have a question, you go through the meat of the question to understand what it's saying to you. Then you go and you look up that information and you make sure you mark it as something to study. Okay? But in a nutshell, it is just not enough to study questions only. And if you're going to study questions, you need to have a system. Now, if you're somebody, you're like, you know what, Tamisha, that sounds great. Help me figure out this system that you're talking about. Help show me how to map out my studying. If you are interested, Study with a Coda course is available. Just go down to the description. You will find it and you will be able to have from birth till death, all of that organized in a structured way. And it'll help you to answer those questions. Now, if you want to have even more help and more insight, you can join my free Facebook group. In that Facebook group, right, we have questions every week. We have discussion questions. People can encourage each other. So definitely, again, it's down below in the description. Join the group. You know, it's free. Come in, join the group. And if you wanted added support, then definitely get your hands on Study with a Coda course. So I hope that this video was helpful. Please don't just study test questions, but also have a structured plan on how to study. So till next time, bye-bye.